Hello, my lovies. Welcome back to My True Life. My name is Gaia Quintana. If you're new here, welcome. On my channel, we plan and organize to create our true lives, aka the lives we really want to live. And that sometimes takes some planning and careful thinking, because before you know it, daily life is kicking your ass and you're like 5 years on down the line and you're like, oh, wait. Wasn't I supposed to follow my dreams or, get those goals? And instead you've just been working all the time or dealing with family stuff or being kicked in the ass by life. So that's why we have to, stay on track with what we want. So today I want to share if I think that the Hobonichi Weeks is worth it if you actually use it for work and or business. And if you're new here, you probably don't know yet that I'm a business owner and I'm a marketer and business consultant. I have some freelance clients, but I also sell courses and I do live Q&As with entrepreneurs to help them grow their business or start their business. So I do have a lot of online meetings and I have a lot of small tasks like organizing email sequences. I have to create ads and content. There's a lot of small details in my day-to-day. And so I use Google Calendar in combination with my Hobonichi Weeks at the moment. If you want to know how I do that, I have a whole video on how I plan with the Hobonichi Weeks and my Google Calendar, because the Hobonichi Weeks does not give off notification sounds and Google Calendar does. It's a whole thing that works for me very well. But there's a separate video on this. And in this video, I really want to see if it's worth it to buy the Hobonichi Weeks for the price it is currently, because it's gone up in price, and especially for people who use this for work and or business. So let's get into it right diddy. So let's start with why I was attracted to the Hobonichi Weeks in the first place. I love its minimalistic design. If you're like me, you will probably not like a planner with too many embellishments, because it will probably make you feel distracted. And thus I really like Hobonichi Weeks layouts because they're quite minimalistic. They're very quiet and relaxed for the eyes. I can use it very minimalistically, as you can see. I don't do too many stickers and stuff because this really is just for work and business for me. So I take this sometimes out when I go to a client and I, go through this, and I don't want them to see all of these embellishments, not because I would be embarrassed, but because I'm a business consultant and marketer, and I'm very aware of what my image makes other people feel. And it's very important in the business world to make sure that people feel a certain way when they work with you, because marketers will know, like, trust is an actual thing. So when they see me attack, a business plan with minimalistic means, and it looks a little bit more serious, people can calm down, relax, and feel safe with me. So I don't have too many embellishments. But yeah, that's what drew me to the Hobonichi Weeks, this minimalistic design. It's very let's get shit done, which is what you need to do when you have a busy job or a busy company that, asks a lot of things from you. So that's why I hovered towards the Hobonichi Weeks. And as you can see, the layout per week is very simple. You just have your days on the left, and then you have some note space on the right. And if you don't have too many appointments, this will do. But if you have more appointments, let's say more than 3 or 4, this might be a little too small, but we'll get into that later. I want to talk about price first, because I bought my first Hobonichi Weeks in 2022, and I looked it up. I currently have my invoice in front of me on the computer screen, and it was 22 euros and 45 cents. Okay, 22 euros and 45 cents. Because if you don't know yet, I'm Dutch. I live in the Netherlands in Europe, so we have different pricing. But if you were to switch that around to, let's say, American dollars, I think that would be around $23.50, maybe $24. And to some people, that would already be quite expensive for a planner, which I can totally understand because I've been a broke bitch too. So once you have the money and you want to invest in something that really works for you, it tends to get a little pricier because the better planners with the better layouts are often a little bit pricier because you also pay for the design, yada, 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 branding, marketing, whatever. I don't mind. I'm in business myself, so I don't mind supporting other businesses, but this is just a plain Weeks. As you can see, it's just a solid color, doesn't have any fancy print. And currently, these Hobonichi Weeks in the Netherlands go for 30 euros. So you hear that is a very steep price increase. From 22 euros and 45 cents, we are now at 30 euros. That's probably around $31 to $32 US. That is quite pricey. I think that if you're gonna add about 7 euros and 55 cents to the price, it better, come with some gold inlay or something. And it's still the plain old Hobonichi Weeks that I see on the website where I usually buy it. People are gonna ask me, it's penstore.nl. I'm not affiliated. I'm not making money of saying this to you or sharing where I buy my stuff, but it's just penstore.nl is one of the most safe places to buy Hobonichi. I've been buying there since 2022, as you now know. But yeah, $30 for a plain Hobonichi Weeks. I know everyone has been complaining about the price increase on Hobonichi, and I do get inflation, but like, come on, 7 euros on top of the price it used to be 2 years ago? Insane to me. Insane. However, there's an argument to be made that if you pay 30 euros and a year has 365 days, it's 82 cents a day to use this planner. So if you turn that around, it is affordable, but still, 7 euros? Oh my God, that is a pretty steep price increase. And yeah, I wanted to share that because, life ain't cheap these days. And if you want to make a conscious decision on where you spend your money, it's good to know that this price increase, at least in the Netherlands, is happening in Europe. And I know all over the world people have been crying because Hobonichi has gotten so expensive. So if it fits your budget, awesome. If it doesn't, don't worry. There's many other planners just like this one, and you do not have to choose Hobonichi. But if you like what they do, then I understand you're watching this video. So let's get into the nitty-gritty of using this planner in daily life for work and or business. So like I said, I just have a plain Hobonichi, and then I buy a cute cover to make it look a little bit more fun. That was my budget option for making this planner look a little bit more cute. And I do really, really like the cover. And I'm not saying I'll never go back to Hobonichi Weeks, but for 2025, I'm going to try the cousin, which I'll explain in another video. But I like that they have these covers because if you buy a plain Hobonichi Weeks or an A5 version, you can always spruce it up a little. And these covers will last you more than a few years. So what I've been doing is buying simple Hobonichi Weeks in solid colors and then just adding a cute little cover, which is like $4 to $5. And then you have a cooler looking Hobonichi Weeks. So that's how I've been making it look a little bit cooler. And then with the current prices, you'd be done for like 36 euros. So maybe like $37 to $38. Yeah, so that's what your setup could be if you use the Hobonichi Weeks in this version. All right, so let's get into the nitty-gritty of using this planner daily as someone who uses it for work and or business. So this overview I rarely use. It's nice to have, but I don't use it. Then I've converted this overview as a step tracker, so how many steps a day I take. And as you can see, I've been doing this diligently. And it has nothing to do with business. This is something for me. But since I have this Hobonichi Weeks, I thought, why not make the most of it and not do this in a separate planner? because I use this one the most every day. So there's a step tracker here. And in the past, I've used this to write down like holidays or birthdays from my clients and my family. So I have an overview and congratulate everyone in time. But this makes it more productive. So you could track anything you want here. You could track your traveling miles or kilometers, like how many kilometers you drive every day to work and back. You could track how many hours at work you spend, or how many hours you spend on work every day. Some business owners in the Netherlands still have to track their hours because they're not full-time, and there's like an hourly quota that you have to reach for tax purposes. But I'm a full-time entrepreneur, so I just work from 9 to 5. I don't have to track my hours. But there's a lot of ways that you could use this when you work a job or when you run your own business to track certain things that you really need to track off. You could also turn this into a money tracker, which I have done on these pages. And then I quit because I started losing the headspace to keep doing all of these things. But as you can see, I started in January with keeping track of how much money I made for a certain part of my business to keep myself motivated. I will be doing this again in 2025, or at least give it another try, because when you have a business, it's good to see how much money you're making every day, because if you're not making money, you're going to end up in a box living under a bridge. Jeez Louise. So yeah, I've also used this for important dates to create an overview. Sometimes I launch courses. So in previous Hobonichi Weeks planners I've also like planned out my weeks. For example, here I was tracking hours for a certain client, like how much I worked. So there's a lot of opportunity to track what you do for work or business. And it's very simple. The layout is very simple. And then you have some place for extra, I don't know, like goals or milestones that you've hit, if you want to write that down. So yeah, I do really like that this is in here, but as you can see, I haven't used it to its full potential because my brain was too occupied with getting shit done. So then you get into the normal weekly pages. And I will say that if you have a lot of meetings, then this is not enough space, I've noticed. Because you have like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 lines. And if you have a bigger handwriting than I do, you might need 2 lines to do it. So if you have more than 6 meetings, you'd really have to use all these lines, write really small and cram it all in. And there's no real room for notes. I mean, you would have room here for notes, but if you are like me and you need a little bit more space, because if it's too crammed, it is hard for you to focus or get a really nice overview, then this is not the layout for you. And I'll show you a little bit further along. So here I started tracking my appointments, as you can see. And I write quite small. My handwriting is really small, so I can fit a lot in here. But as you can see, I think that it starts looking quite clutterly, or, you know, it doesn't look nice and neat as soon as you start filling it in. And I'm already keeping it very minimal because I don't use too many stickers and stuff. But as you can see, if you have more than 3 appointments, you might want to consider an A5 planner or a daily planner and not go with the Hobonichi Weeks. See, this is how busy it can look. If this is annoying you, visually this is annoying me, then this is not the planner for you. I'm just going to be honest about that. So you have all of these weekly overviews, which is awesome. And then in the back, you have some empty note pages, which is very nice. I've been using them for period tracking, which is not a business or work thing, but I like having it in the same planner. And I still have a lot of note pages left. Oh. So you could do some bullet journaling in here if you'd want to. I personally have too many tasks a day to do bullet journaling in here. So if you love bullet journaling and you're like, oh, let me do it here, like on the weekly pages, you could do bullet journaling on the side. I've tried, but I literally need half of this page per day because I have a lot of tasks, and I can show you because I have a plain Hobonichi notebook here, and it has kind of the same grit as you can see, but I have a lot of tasks and I have a lot of quick notes that I take during meetings, and this is just one day. And sure, I could use every row so it would be scrunched together, but like I said, if you like having a bit more of a spacious page layout because you love that for your eyes and brain, then it's not gonna work here because you only have one notebook page for the entire week. So I think if you're a really busy person at work or you have a lot of tasks for your business, you'd have to do it like me and get like a plain notebook to create a task list and bullet journal per day. But then again, if you travel a lot, you'd have to bring your notebook and you'd have to bring your Hobonichi Weeks. And that just adds to the stack in your bag. Now, it doesn't really matter because they're quite thin. They're not too thick. You could definitely bring these with you. But I will say that the more my business evolves and my tasks evolve, I'm looking for more simplicity. And currently my brain is filled with a lot of creative ideas and tasks that I need to finish. And 2 books is annoying me. This might change in the future. In the future, I might be like, oh my gosh, I want to have 2 books again. I'm going to go back to Hobonichi Weeks and I'm going to go back and use my plain notebook for bullet journaling. But for 2025, I'm using the Hobonichi Han or Cousin, which is the A5 version, so I can do everything in one book. But I wanted to share that option with you because I know a lot of people who watch my YouTube channel have the same needs I do or similar needs, and we need a little bit of a different setup. So yeah, I'm not telling you what to do, I'm just showing you what worked for me, and if you want to, you can use the same tricks and tips, or you can change it up and make your own system, which I highly recommend because we're all very different. So for business and work, this might be too small for you. If you have a lot of tasks, if you have a lot of things to do, this might not be the perfect planner or organizer, or as we say in the Netherlands, agenda or agenda. This might not be the one for you. And I've been realizing that this is not the one for me anymore because there's more that I need to do. I need more space and I don't want to walk around with 2 books anymore. Okay, so let's go back to one of the pages that I'm currently filling. We are now in October, week 42. And my layout is quite simple. I have all my appointments on this side. It's quite quiet right now, which is nice. I've made a layout where I have these little boxes on the side in which I add some quick notes or things that I want to remember per day. And that's what I put in these little boxes. But because they're so little, I often notice that I have to write in like bullet points or quick sentences, small words, and then I have to like figure out later what I meant with that one word because I don't have a lot of space, and that annoys me. On the other side, I've put my personal trackers, which is something you don't have to do if it's just for work and business, but I personally love having everything in one go because otherwise I forget tracking my health. So I have my weight here, the amount of kilometers I walk every day, and the workout minutes that I have. I have my self-care tracker, my home care tracker, my health and Korean learning tracker, and I love this setup. But like I said, I don't have any space for other notes except for in the back. But my brain doesn't like having to go back and forth. I want everything that belongs to this week in this week. Otherwise, I'll forget that's in the back. I don't know why that is, but my mind is very, very rigid like that. I want everything categorized in a way that works for me. And otherwise, I'm just not going to use it. My brain is like, nope, checking out. So yeah, this is one of the ways you could use it. Or you could say, listen girly, I don't need my personal trackers on the side, and you could use this for bullet journaling. You can make other types of trackers. You can get real creative with this, but just remember, this is not a lot of space. Not a lot of space. I know people are gonna ask me about the paper. I've never been a fan of Hobonichi Weeks paper. It's very thin. It's very see-through. I don't like this ghosting. I don't like seeing what happened on the last page. That's something that'll annoy me to death. So yeah, it's very thin paper, which allows your planner to also be really thin, which is nice for in your backpack, but I don't mind getting a bigger bag for a bigger planner. That's not a problem I have. I'd rather have thicker paper than thinner paper. So that's more personal preference, I guess. This is my pen that I've been using since 2022. Well, not the same pen because sometimes it runs out of ink, then I need a new one, but this is the Sarasa Mark On pen. This dries real quickly and you can use markers over it. So if you're someone who likes using colored markers to, you know, cross out your tasks, this is gonna be one of your favorites because it dries real quickly. They have it in red, blue, and black, and I use the black one. So just for funsies, this is another Hobonichi Weeks. I got this on sale because this is a spring edition. I use this for personal journaling. And as you can see, I've been using this with a fountain pen. And it still looks really good. But I don't like fountain pen in Hobonichi paper, or sorry, on Toma River paper that much, because it doesn't dry as quickly as the Mark On Sarasa pen I have here. So I need to leave this open and let it dry for a while before I close it, otherwise it'll smudge. So maybe it's the ink I'm using. I have several fountain pen inks, but I don't understand why people rave about Hobonichi for fountain pen ink because it's not that great. Like, I don't love it. So I guess, again, that is personal preference. The type of paper I like is mostly found in Leuchtturm, and this is 120 gram paper. Now this is what I love. It's smooth, it's thicker, there's very little ghosting. If I were to write something on the back, you don't really see it. This is my personal journal, by the way. But if you want to, see, I've written on this page on the back, barely any ghosting. Can you see that? Very little see-throughness. And if you want to, Leuchtturm also sells weekly layout planners. I've had Leuchtturm planners in the past. They're very flipping nice, and they're a little bit less expensive than Hobonichi Weeks. So I do really like Leuchtturm planners, but they were a bit clunky. That's why I went to the Hobonichi Weeks. But I'm thinking about maybe in 2026 trying a Leuchtturm planner again. But I wanted to share it with you because their paper is very amazing, very good for fountain pennings. And I've also had a bullet journal with this notebook, which is 120 grams. And there's some pen swatches here. So gorgeous. This paper is also quite creamy, so it isn't too white. As you can see, very same tones of paper when it comes to the color. So yeah, this could be an option. Leuchtturm has planners too. So just for funsies, this is gonna be my new Hobonichi. This is an A5. As you can see, the paper is a little bit more white, which I like, less yellow. This is a page per day. So yeah, kind of like that. And then what they also have is this. They have these daily grits where you can write out your day in hours. And this is what my brain loved. The only thing I don't like is that all of these overviews are in the front, and then you have to go to the particular week, which is like further along in the planner. I wish they did this per week. So if you have week 48 here, then after these 2 pages, I want all the dailies for week 48. You know what I'm saying? This is why I'm thinking about creating my own planner. But yeah, this is why I'm switching to the Hobonichi cousin, because it's A5, more space, and because you have dailies, you actually have space to write out your appointments, and you have way more space than in the Hobonichi Weeks. And then you also have way more space for bullet journaling. And because this is a page per day, you can just go ahead and fill out all your tasks and go to town. I just have to find a new space for all my personal trackers. That's the only thing I'm a little worried about. But yeah, that's why I'm switching to the Hobonichi cousin. This is my first cousin. Don't know how it's gonna go, but I wanted to show you the comparison with the Hobonichi Weeks so that you can have like a visual representation of what might be the best option for you. So to finalize this worth it video for you, I really like the size of the Hobonichi Weeks. I like that you can customize it with covers, or you can buy one of these pre-printed covers that have like sushis printed on them, or like your favorite anime or manga characters. It's like they have a lot of cute designs. I love how minimalistic it is. The layout is super simple, and if you just want to get down to business, this is ideal. As you can see, the print of the grids is quite light gray, so it doesn't annoy my eyes. If you're someone who's very sensitive for colors and like prints that are too busy on the page, then you will love this. The paper is nice to write on, but I find that the ink dries on it quite slowly. That's why I use this mark-on pen. If you have a lot of appointments, this might not give you enough space. You might want to do some tracking or bullet journaling, and then if you only have 1 page per week, it's not going to be enough. So think about that. If you love keeping track of things, or if you love writing out your task lists per day, then this is not the one for you. If you have very little going on and you need something to keep track of your appointments and an occasional little blurb, then this could be an amazing planner for you. I will say that it's really nice that they have a lot of note pages in the back, so you could extend your bullet journal lists here. Although I will say it probably won't last you an entire year because it's not enough pages. And then in the back, they also have these extra fun pages, like your favorite 100 items maybe, or like recipes and a checkoff list. These are things I don't use, so yeah, I wish those were turned into like maybe extra what's it called, note pages. So yeah, really think about the amount of tracking and list making you want to do, how much you want to keep track of. The thing that I do love about Hobonichi Weeks is that you can customize everything. So I always have this little layout that I create with the boxes on the side for my trackers, and I have a little bit of space left here on the bottom. So really think about what you like and how you would use it, because it is quite small and tiny, which is perfect for someone who loves minimalistic planning. But if you have a heavy duty workload, like I said, probably not the one for you. That being said, I hope you liked me showing you how you can use a Hobonichi Weeks for work and or business. I hope it gives you a bit more insight and helps you make the right decision for you. Obviously, finding the perfect planner is a journey. Don't feel bad if you don't have the right match right away. It's like dating. But if you want to give this a try and not pay full price, wait till the year has started. That's what I did with this one. This is a Hobonichi Weeks spring version. So I waited till spring started, and then I bought it with a discount because they want to get rid of all the journals that are already in use. And this Hobonichi Weeks I use for planning, and thus you see a lot more stickers in here because this stays at home with me. And I paid, I think like $15 for this instead of 25. So yeah, that's a nice way to figure out if you like this, if you get this on a discount. And to wrap it up, if you also use the Hobonichi Weeks for work and or business, definitely drop your tips in the reaction box below, because you'll be helping out some other people who might need a different point of view than just mine. And if you still have questions after watching this video about the Hobonichi Weeks, definitely let me know. I will give you my honest answer and help you figure out if this one works for you. And then if you did like this video, definitely thumbs it up, subscribe, because I usually post every Sunday. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye-bye.